Hey guys, it's RK and been playing Minecraft. I've actually been working on this for a couple days now. Um, the last major patch introduced pistons into the game. So pistons had been added by a mod quite some time ago, but I'd never had a chance to play with them. But now that they're officially working, it's like, cool, I'm gonna play with pistons. Well, what better to make with pistons than an elevator? Guess what I made? I made an elevator. Sweet. So, here we go. Going up. Sweet. Huzzah. And going down. Completely functioning elevator right there. Good stuff. And the recall button allows it if, it's already up and you come in on the first floor, you can recall it back down and vice versa. Really freaking awesome stuff. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. Aw, come on, really? It's gonna affect my door, whatever. So yeah, I'm really happy. Biggest problem with it is it's freaking huge. The wiring for this is insane. So pistons have this strange idiosyncrasy to them where they cannot be moved while they're extended. It's something about the block state that keeps it from being able to be moved. So going up is easy. You can just put them all in a series, add some redstone wire, and ta-da. In fact, this area from, what is it, like here to here, all of this in pink, that's all that is needed for me to go up. In fact, I could make it a lot smaller if I didn't need to have the junctions to the rest of the controls. But yeah, I could reduce this by about 2 blocks width. No problem. It's easy going up. Going down is the problem, and going down is pretty much what the rest of this is for. This is not the most efficient design. There are probably other ways to do this to make the footprint smaller and still get the proper timings, but this is what I have. This, in order to, so my current elevator is 5 blocks high. There are, if I go back downstairs, flight is awesome, by the way. Oops. If I go down here, sorry, I have to fix the hole in my floor. Go down here, so you'll notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of air and a 5th block of floor that I have to pass through. So that's going to require 5 pistons, 4 of which must be sticky in order for this to work. The top one doesn't have to be sticky. In fact, it looks nicer if it's not. But you can use sticky if you want. I don't have any slime balls on my multiplayer server, so yeah. So in order to cover 5 space, or 5 space in a floor block, you're going to need 5 pistons. Bringing 5 pistons up is easy. As I said, bringing it down is a little tougher because you don't have to make 5 movements, you have to make 10. You can actually plot it all out, which is what I did in Excel. I don't think it'll show if I Alt-Tab because Fraps sticks to the game. But you can plot it all out, what the movement is going to look like in order to get it down. It requires 10 movements. Which is basically 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. There's also, if you were to do 4 blocks high of space, so you had 3 blocks of space and your floor started here instead, that would only require 6 movements, or 3 plus 2 plus 1, and so forth and so on. So the shorter the space, the fewer movements are needed in order to bring it down. Excuse me. To bring it down, I actually have these are pulsars, what are they? Pulse limiters is the name of it. These are pulse limiters. I found the schematic on Minecraft Wiki, and they work really great. So what happens is, when they receive power, nothing changes. It's when they go from an on to an off state, they will change state. So if I remove this right here, so right now this is powered. If I remove it, notice that it all changed for a moment there. So nothing changes here. This is specifically what I'm interested in. Nothing changes here. But when I remove this, come on, notice that this flickered to off for a moment before turning back on. So if I give that to a not here, then I can have this off most of the time, but when suddenly the power turns off, it's going to get one pulse of light. One very brief pulse, but that's all that's needed in order to trigger each one. So to figure out what order they needed to be in and where they had to go, I wrote it down on signs just to keep myself straight. So this right here, specifically, that everything attached to that repeater needs to trigger first. Then this one triggers, so this is going to pull down that top block. Then this one's going to pull down this block, and this one's going to pull down what is the top block, and so forth and so on. So you're going to have your one movement to pull this, then you're going to have two movements to pull those two down, three movements to pull those three down, and then your four movements to pull all of them down back into the stack. So that once it's reset, it's all going to go. Let's see. I'll show you what it's going to look like when it resets. So here we go. Here's the reset. And that's it right there. It just moves it right back down into it. So timing the pulses probably took me the most amount of time. That and wiring it to where it wouldn't cross over and bleed in. This isn't necessarily the most efficient design. You could probably, instead of having two separate pulses for each of these that shares two, you could have one pulse with two loops, one being much shorter and the second one being a much longer loop with a significant number of repeaters on it just to get that second pulse later. So I may go through and redo this to see if I can make it a little smaller. But yeah, so that's all of this is what triggers that. Crazy, huh? I'm gonna remove the red because it's disconcerting. And then this is a it's an RS NOR latch. Excuse me. And this is the buttons. This controls the reset and the up and down buttons. The RS NOR latch holds a state. Even when you press the button, it just triggers the state change. So what I needed was for basically the top and the bottom each have up and down options. At the bottom, reset is down, and up is of course up. And at the top, reset is up, and down is of course down. So I have the down, which is here, and the reset, which is here. So the down for the top and the reset for the bottom are tied together. So these are linked together, and then they go into this NOR latch. And the same thing with the up, or with the reset on the top and the up on the bottom are together on this NOR latch, or on this side of the NOR latch. And so whenever it changes from one to the other, whenever one of the opposite buttons is pressed, it will change the state of this. And it will, right now it's not powered, so if I went up and pressed either the up button on the bottom or the reset button on the top, those of these that are off at the moment, then this whole thing will change state and it'll send power through. So that's pretty much this wiring, which also could probably be made a lot more compact, but that's what I've got. I have a working elevator. I'm sure that it would run a lot more slowly on SMP. For one, in order to make sure that I got my timings right, I would probably need to double, if not triple, the amount of time between each of these just to deal with server lag. So something like this is probably not that efficient for multiplayer. For multiplayer, probably you would be better off with an escalator, which there are a number of escalators out there. I just built one. Of course, I have no idea where the hole in the wall is that I made in order to get in and out. There it is. This is one of the buildings I've been prototyping. Looks pretty cool, huh? It's the V building. D for victory. Ta-da! Oh, stupid cloud. So anyway, there is the escalator here. And this is only an upward movement escalator. I'm working on the potential for an up and down movement escalator. But basically what happens is you press the button and it sends you upstairs. This is not an elevator. This is an escalator. All the people that keep labeling their escalators elevators are not very bright because you are not moving straight up. You are moving around as if you were on an escalator. But yes, what a lot of people are doing right now is with the elevator, at least the up or the escalators, they'll usually just have a water break and just jump from below, which is cool, but it's not a fully functioning elevator. So, hey, look, I have one. This took me, I'd say I mucked with it for probably about 4 or 5 hours, mostly trying to get the redstone figured out. This is kind of my first and biggest redstone project. I don't usually play with redstone, so it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. So, yeah, if I can't say that I'll offer this world for download simply because it's got some of my other top secret stuff on it. But, I have no electronics background. Well, okay, I tried to take EC 171 like 3 times. But that's, if I can do this, anyone can do this. It just requires a little bit of patience and some planning. So, anyhow, good luck with all of your crafting and building, and I will see you all next time. Take care.